Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Neverhood's Wall of Text on the Games Rock channel. We are reading through this background text of the game. My name is Rock, and we are on the story of NUMERON. So, let us begin. Quater decided to make a being of greater substance than any of his previous creations. NUMERON looks like a pile of cubes. He was obsessed with being sensible and correct in everything, following the rules to the letter. NUMERON rarely did anything on his own without asking Quater for his explicit instructions. NUMERON loved his crown and wore it with much pride. Perhaps a little too much pride. He made 300 duplicates of himself, whom he would boss around all day, every day. These are some of their genealogies. The firstborn of NUMERON was Nabris, a clone of NUMERON. The firstborn of Nabris was Thopobene the Similar, then Libda, Mazbin, Mishmash, Hamda, Bim, Dad, Emat, Juter, Big Eelfish, or Efish, Shaphan, and Hamdek. These are the sons of Nabris. And the sons of Thopobene were Narmis, Jock, Got, Wim, Niebi, Itchy-Itch, Kashi, and Chip-Chape. And the sons of Niebi were Ebesh and Neded. I thought I recognized some of those names from the previous genealogies from Bert. Maybe they have the same names. And the sons of Itchy-Itch were Hef, Ref, Makenkrog, Adaba, Inkerkrog, and Ha. All of these were the sons of Thopobene the Similar. And NUMERON was the father of NUMERON Jr., and the sons of NUMERON Jr. were Limimba and Supanupa. The sons of Limimba were Zaphile, Loiter, Shohorf, Malagasket, and Herok. The sons of Zaphile were Namit, Ramo, Ifez, Maytag, Zanik, Anmit, and Kelama. Ifez? A fez for your eye? So you would wear like over the eye or like above the eye? There's like painted fez above the eye. Really kind of cool face paint idea. And then you could like make underneath your eye look like the doctor in his bow tie and suit. That'd be kind of weird. And then the other one is I don't know, Aladdin. The sons of Loiter were Thahan, Harpin, Barpin, Hammash, and Shasa. That's the only two guys I can think of who wear fezzes, except for no, not here. Who's the other guy from Wheel of Time? Julian Sandar. But there's no pictures of him, so I don't know what he looks like. And the sons of Harpin Barpin were Pies, Bud, Labopunky, Nobis, Hannah, Noshbagosh, Rees, and Nashid. And the sons of Bud were Iro and Mamo, and Natol's sister was Annie Nitnitnit. And the sons of Noshgosh were Alan, Nunnybiz, The, Labi, Ef, and Mono. And the sons of Nunnybiz were Hoxo, Kina, Geek, and Sot, the nephew of The. The son of Sot was Knock Knock. And the sons of Knock Knock were Narm, Nab, Narthi, and Nar, and Rees, and Who's There? And the sons of Rees were Nalbo and Nazazanatab. And the sons of Nalbo were Za and Narakatan Baluf. I will not let any of these names beat me. Now these are the kings who reigned in the land of Heka before any king of the sons of NUMERON Jr. reigned. Alab was the son of Royandale, and the name of his city was Havtu. When Alab died, Baburno, the son of Hiwia of Harzab, became king in his place. When Baburno died, Mashush of the land of the Namatites became king in his place. When Mashush died, Dada, the son of Dadeb, who defeated Nidium in the field of Baum, became king in his place, and the name of his city was Theum. When Dada died, Pehalu of Hakkerson became king in his place. When Pehalu died, Uwi of Thothat by the river, became king in his place. When Uwi died, Nanabal, the son of Rabcha by the sea, became king in his place. When Nanabal died, Dada became king in his place, and the name of his city was Ayap, and his wife's name was Demethicone, the daughter of Padamate, the daughter of Obenzone. Then Dada died. This is like the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Now the chiefs of Heka were Chief Enmity, Chief Emollient, Chief Thetha, Chief Hamabiloho, Chief Hale, Chief Nanep, Chief Zanek, Chief Namit, Chief Razama, Chief Lanez, and Chief Mari. These are the chiefs of Heka. Now, NUMERON paid little attention to the beings he had already made, rather he focused intently on new beings to create and neglect. NUMERON made Nabris' brother Abris, who was a pure-hearted, obedient follower, in spite of the fact that NUMERON ignored him. Nabarus became convinced that no one could be as good as Aberrus made himself appear. And he feared that there would be no more text to read on the next screen. And his fears were proven unfounded. He feared that Aberrus would eventually displease Quater, so Nabarus, believing that Numeron was paying no attention, destroyed Aberrus by breaking off all of the many antlers that covered Aberrus's back and neck. I thought these guys were made up of cubes. This heinous act did, in fact, escape Numeron's notice, but Quater himself was watching, and he smote Nabarus with permanent blindness. Now the sons of Narcolon, the son of Numeron, were Limher, Ma, and Iabelech, and Ma became the father of Badanima, and Badanima, who's got the coolest name so far, became the father of Noshan, leader of the sons of Narcolon. Noshan became the father of Amlis. Amlis became the father of Zoa. Zoa became the father of Debo. Debo became the father of Essa. Essi became the father of Baal, the firstborn, and then Badanima the second, Amish the third, Lenathan the fourth, Idar the fifth, Meso the sixth, Hank the seventh, and his sisters were Juarez and Liagaba. And the three sons of Juarez were Ashba, Box, and Lihasa. And Liagiba bore Muddy Bean Pudi, and the father of Muddy Bean Pudi was Jethro the Nabrasite. And Muddy Bean Pudi became the father of Bananagrant, and Bananagrant became the father of No Such Luck, leader of the sons of No Dice. Bananagrant. No Such Luck became the father of Amwhat. Amwhat became the father of Goatflam. Goatflam became the father of Denturuptor. And Denturuptor became the father of Cupt. Yeah. And Cupt became the father of Vik, his firstborn. Then Hugh Yekun became the second. Tanana the third. Bizk the fourth. Iata the fifth. Mtindo the sixth. Migoink the seventh. And their sisters were Beach Noodle and Gramlet. And the three sons of Beach Noodle were Korpup, Pango, and Quidit. And Grahamus or Asma. And the father of Asma was Othal, the obscure prince. Now the sons of Numero Benti, son of Numeron, were Lantho and High Harry Hapsakambi. And the son of Lantho was That. And the son of That was Ath. And Ath became the father of Oprah, and Harry became the father of Mishkapish, for they were craftsmen. And Mishkapish became the father of Nadara Zubin. Numeron was the father of Neron. Neron became the father of those who dwell in 8 by 14 foot thatched huts and use pygmy shrimp swabs and get burned and eaten by Trogdor. And his brother's name was Enron, whose food had to be pre-chewed by Neron, and who got bailed out when they performed insider training during the Bush administration. Enron became the father of all those who celebrate Numeron's birthday parade and crony capitalism, playing the Pinkerkrog and the Nigtoilabong. Numeron became the father of Numbi. Then Numeron became the father of Nasak the Great. And Numeron was the father of Kilfax, who just sat there. I think Kilfax had the right idea. One year, Numeron lost half of his beings off of a cliff. They were on one of their morning marches when the ground fell out from under one of the leaders, and half the others followed before Numeron noticed their peril and was able to convince the rest to turn back. Did he get Quater's permission first? Though 150 beings marched straight off the cliff, not all of these perished. Many were some of Numeron's hardiest creations. The two that were the strongest and came through the fall most intact were Numbi and Nasak the Great. The fall landed Numeron's beings in the trench of Erebus. Whoops. Let's see if I can back out and do that. Yeah, this is faster. There, Numbi and Nasak set up kingdoms, the twin kingdoms of Numbi and Nasak. This didn't go unnoticed by Numeron. He saw that as soon as the surviving beings thought that they were outside the presence of Numeron, they forgot him and his world. They began their own societies. Numeron observed their wickedness and saw that it was great. Numeron was sorry that he ever made any beings at all. Now we're going to the story of Noah's Ark. He said to himself, not only do I have to keep cracking the whip, so to speak, over these beings night and day, but to top it all off, as soon as I'm out of their sight, they... Go to the next page. Forget me. At least I still have 150 to keep under my thumb, so we had about 300. And one? The rest of these I can destroy. I'll cause a catastrophic explosion throughout the trench. That'll show him. But Numeron saw that Numbi was the blameless creature. Numbi was a righteous king. In fact, he's the only being in the Trench of Aramus that remembered Numeron. They called it the Trench of Aramus because of the swit trees that grow there. The actual name of the trench was Great Canyon of the Ruins of Desolation number 5. Because Desolation number 1 through 4 I don't know, burned down, fell over, and sank into the swamp. He tried and tried for 12.5 years to remind the subjects in his modest little kingdom about the past, but since NUMERON wouldn't take the time to make himself known, they wouldn't remember him. His subjects thought Numbi was a fine king, but they wouldn't heed his warning that the Creator would not tolerate their corruption forever. Nasak the Great, on the other hand, didn't think Numbi was a fine king. He considered Numbi and his preaching about NUMERON a nuisance. Nasak's kingdom grew every day, filling more and more of the trench. The southern sector extended from the wilderness of Xenoplox along the side of Ibis Simpret. Then the south side was from the edge of Hapalanche, and the border went westward and went to the fountain of the waters of Neopithum. And the border went down to the edge of the hill, which is in the valley of Bonablink, which is in the valley of Bapa Bumjoy, northward. And it went down to the valley of Dicey Yunwang, to the slope of the Unja Wapung southward, and went down to Bok. And it extended northward and went to Sabuta and went to Soisinga, which is the opposite the ascent of Itanina, and it went down to the stone of Ru, the son of Lu, and it continued to the next column, the side in front of the left-handed Fletchy northward, and went down to the left-handed Fletchy, and border continued to the side of Hogladogla northward, and the border ended at the north bay of the Stinky Sea, at the south end of the Heliohogma. Moreover, the Heliohogma was its border on the east side, and the southern border extended from the end of the Stinky Sea eastward. Then the border turned direction from the south of the ascent of Akakak and Ziba, and continued to Xenoplox, and its termination was to the south of Radish Barnmold, and it reached Huz. It continued to Itzabighi, even unto the great river that is called Miffelwimpsk the Uncrossable, except in a couple of places where it gets slow and shallow, and unto the Early Risers Clubhouse. And the border turned direction from Hay-Wait to the brook of Tiga, and its termination was at the sea. As for the western border, it was the amazing colossal sea, that is, its coastline. This was the western border. And this was the north border. They drew the border line from the amazing colossal sea to Mount Pefilter. They drew a line from Mount Pefilter to the Hodaskelly. Then the border went up to the side of Hintma on the north and went up through the hill country westward. This is the part of the Bible where they divide up the land for the Israelites at the end of the book of Joshua. It ended at the wilderness of Canbent, and from there the border continued to Quelp to the side of Quelp, that is, Refleclo, southward, and the border went down to Adamantshu, near the hill which lies on the south of Lower Surgut, and the border extended from there and turned round on the west side southward from the hill which lies before Surgut southward, and ended at Sourbeat, that is, Sour Novel, a city of the sons of Mishkapish. And the termination of the border was at Blight and such. This was the northern border. Now the eastern border reached the border of Edupated, southward to the wilderness of Brainworm at the extreme south. Then it proceeded southward to the ascent of Quelfrum, and continued up to Brainworm, then went up by the south of Radish Barnmold, and continued to Larry, and went up to Rebatan Purchase, and turned about to Clarksdale. And it continued to Stewlumps, and proceeded to the brook of Fotheringi. And then the border went up to Burndaggett, and continued on the north of undoubtedly Moister, which is opposite the ascent of Surmapleet, which is on the south of the valley, and the border continued to the waters of House and Ploop. And the border went up to the top of the mountain, which is before the valley of Twisted Balm, which is, another wall of text. At the end of the valley of Warrantaf, toward the north. And from the top of the mountain, the border curved to the spring of the waters of Rankness, and the border turned about from Balixisix westward to Mount Dasoski. And they drew a line from Dasoski to Shemp, and the border went down from Shemp to Larry to Mo to Curly, Reapley Engine on the east side of and continued toward Dilo, which means I don't think I can put that much in my mouth. And the border went down and reached the slope on the east side of the sea, often fallen into. And the border went to the Fibrillatin, and its termination was at the Stinky Sea. This was Nasak the Great's land according to its borders all around. His thriving cities were all decadent and vile, but that is what sells. That's what the people want. Notice it says want, not went. Thus his kingdom grew, even taking in droves of defectors from the good kingdom of Numbi. Yet still not content with his great wealth of power, riches, and influence, he coveted the dry, rocky land of the kingdom of Numbi. Asak plotted a war of conquest against Numbi. Numeron saw all of this and knew that Numbi's number was coming up. Oh yeah! So he paid a visit to Numbi to explain the catastrophic explosion. Numbi was alone when Numeron arrived. Numeron wanted to speak with Numbi and his wife Grace, so Numbi went searching for her. The basement was flooded, so she was not there. She was in the attic, which in the kingdom of Numbi is called an Isathello. So Numbi found her there, high and dry. They went together to the patio, where Numeron addressed him. Numbi, I'm going to blow up this trench with all these vile beings in it, but I don't want to destroy you and Grace. So I want you to build a tree house where you can stay and remain safe during the explosion. Numeron gave Numbi a blueprint for the tree house that described the exact location of the tree he wanted to build it in. We're finally getting to the Noah's Ark after the kings of Israel and the division of the land to Israel. Alright, let's see. Construction of the treehouse. You shall make the treehouse from weepy wood. It shall be a split-level treehouse with an enclosed foyer, gabled roof with rough beam ceiling, bay windows in the living room, and in the kitchen over the sink. All the measurements are here on the floor plan. As Numbi and Grace worked on the treehouse. Their neighbors, who formerly thought of Numbi as a fine king, came out to mock the construction of the treehouse. Numeron had given Numbi 7 days to complete the construction of the treehouse, which is a lot less time than Noah got, and he was nearly finished. By then, Asak the Great had completed his plans for conquest, and his armies were massed and marching toward the capital of Numbi. Then King Numbi and Grace entered the treehouse as instructed by Numeron. Numeron detonated the catastrophic explosion, destroying all the beings but Numbi and Grace in the twin kingdoms of Numbi and Asak the Great in the trench of Aramus. The great explosion had disrupted the deep panels of the world. A hot green substance belched forth from the cracks in the panels and filled the canyon. Numbi and Grace watched as the hot green swirled around the foot of the tree. They were trapped. Now weepy wood is impossible to burn, so they were safe as long as they didn't leave the treehouse. Many days passed as Numbi and Grace grew hungry. One evening they looked out beyond the tree and sang a song to Numeron regarding their hunger. Numeron, send us food to Trumeron. Numeron heard their plea, and he sent a great bird to nest in the tree in which the treehouse was built. Every morning the great bird laid a giant egg which landed in their bed. They gently cracked the eggs open to find 5-course meals prepared, complete with a fine linen tablecloth and brass candelabra. They lived this way for many days until the hot green cooled down to become just green. This new form of ground felt lovely to walk on. They lived happily for many ages. Grace died one beautiful day. Numbi died 3 days later. And their sons did not find them drunk and naked in the tent. Okay, and that was Numeron. Now we're at Ottoborg. Lovely. Sweet. We'll continue this next episode. My reader is getting weary. But until then, keep playing games because old games rock. Claim Meb, you may have already won 2 bricks of clay. Really? What?